Good morning, boys and girls. I figured we'd do one last little thing on the book Rules. We did finish reading it, but they have a little thing about the author and a couple of question and answers with the author, who is Cynthia Lord. So here's a little bit of about the author. Cynthia Lord grew up next to a lake in rural New Hampshire. As a child, she loved to read and create stories. The earliest writing she remembers doing was a goofy song called Ding Dong the Cherry Sings, which she wrote at the age of 4 with her sisters and forced everyone to listen to over and over. As Cynthia grew up, though, she wrote poems, newspaper articles, and stories. As an adult, when Cynthia sat down to write her first children's book, she knew it would be a middle grade novel. As she recalls, I remember being 10 years old, lying on our pier, listening to the seagulls calling and daydreaming about borrowers and chocolate factories and secret gardens. A former teacher and bookseller, Cynthia still enjoys nature and reading a good book. And she hears plenty of seagulls at her home near the ocean in Maine, which was the setting for this book, where she lives with her husband and 2 children. She says, though I have children of my own now, when I write, it's always for that daydreaming girl I used to be. Rules, a Newbery Honor a winner, which means it's a good book, and the New York Times bestseller, is Cynthia's first novel. You can, cynthialord.com, you can go to her site. And there are a few different questions they asked her. So where did the idea for Rules come from? Okay. So you might be curious because, I don't know, maybe it's from her background growing up. Let's see. I have 2 children, a daughter and a son. My son has autism. One day when my daughter was about 10 years old, she asked me, Mom, how come I never see families like mine in books and on TV? I didn't know how to answer her. So I went looking for children's books that included characters with severe special needs. I did find some, but most of the books I read seemed very sad to me. Sadness is part of living with someone with a severe disability, but it's only one part. It can also be funny, inspiring, heartwarming, disappointing, frustrating, everything that is to love anyone and to live in any family. So it's complicated. All right, here's another question. How much did you draw on your own family for this book? Are your kids anything like Catherine and David? Well, let's see here. The biggest elements in Rules are from my own imagination. The characters are not my own family, and the story itself isn't true. Some of the small details in the books are real. My son used to repeat lines from books, and he loved Arnold LaBelle's stories. He also liked to drop things in our fish tank. Remember that? Which frustrated me. Then one day I realized I wasn't the only person who minded the fish loved having the company. It started me thinking about all these social rules we follow, sometimes not even knowing why. Catherine is more like me than my daughter. My daughter is an artist, though, so she was a big help when I was writing the scenes where Catherine was drawing. Okay. What were you like as a child? Here we go. I grew up in a house beside a lake in a small town in New Hampshire. As a child, I liked to go exploring on my bike. I also loved to play my clarinet in the school band. Though I didn't always like to practice, imagine stories, teach my dog new tricks, go swimming with my friends, and read. What is your writing process like? Do you have a special place or time of day? So this might be something for you guys because you guys do writing, right? My writing day starts before dawn. Wow. I usually get up around 4 in the morning. That routine started when my children were small because it was the one time I could depend on. Now I get up early just because I love that time of day. It's quiet and peaceful, and I like to see the sun come up. I live in Maine near the coast, so in the summer, I open the window beside my desk and I can smell the ocean. My dog gets up with me, and then he goes to sleep near my feet while I write. I also go to my local library to work sometimes in the afternoons. What was your favorite part of writing Rules? I love so many parts, but writing the dialogue between the guinea pigs was especially funny. How did Jason's character come to you? My own son has had years of therapy appointments. One day when I was waiting for him, to finish his session, a boy and his mother came into the clinic. The boy used a wheelchair and a communication book like Jason does. He and his mom were having an argument, and two things really struck me. First, I was surprised that someone could have an argument using a communication book. Soon I realized he could only use words that someone else had given him. I wondered if there were words he wished he had. That boy isn't Jason because I don't know that boy, but that's where the character began for me. What do you do when you're not writing? I like to read, watch movies and TV, and walk beside the ocean. Spend a lot of time traveling and answering mail from readers. And you never know, if you write her, she might write you back. We've had that happen before, which is always fun. I also love to be home with my family and my dog. One of Catherine's rules for David was not everything worth keeping has to be useful. What is your favorite possession? I have many special possessions, but one of my favorites is my Newbery Honor Award. And that's what that is right there, by the way, guys. When I look at it, I know that dreams can't come true. Maybe one of you guys will be an author, right? Catherine had 2 guinea pigs, Nutmeg and Cinnamon. And then, of course, there are family fish. Are there any pets at your house? I love animals, so we have so many pets over the years. We've had hamsters, guinea pigs, mice, gerbils, fish, frogs, and dogs in our house. At the moment, we only have one dog. His name's Milo, and he's half Pomeranian and half Maltese. He looks like a baby polar bear because he's all white except for his black eyes and nose, kind of like my Zuri. I wish you had, I hear you have a pretty extensive rubber ducky collection. How and where did that start? I love the rules cover. The first time I saw it, I thought it looked appealing and fun, but there was one problem. There was no rubber duck in my story. I thought to myself, kids will expect a duck in this book. So I traded one of the toys that David drops in the fish tank for a rubber duck right before Rules was published. Now people give me ducks. I have duck pen holders, duck wall hangings, duck ornaments, duck toys, and lots of rubber ducks. I've discovered them on my signing table at events, floating in punch bowls, in my Christmas stockings. It's great fun. And my last question was, what do you hope readers take away from Rules? Which I thought there was a strong message and theme in this book. First, I hope they simply enjoy the book, the story. But beyond that, I also hope that meeting David and Jason in Rules will help readers to have less fear and more understanding toward the people with disabilities in their own communities and schools. So I'm going to repeat that again. I hope it helps readers to have less fear and more understanding towards the people with disabilities in their own communities and schools. So, boys and girls, on Friday, you have a writing prompt. Pick one of those 3. And maybe some of the stuff I said to you, I read about the questions to the author. Maybe that'll help inspire you for your writing prompt. All right. Have a wonderful day.